Dr. Nerenberg's Mind-Body Workout System.
Welcome, 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 my dear brothers and sisters, my beloved wife, Maheen. I'm grateful to be in your presence, to have this opportunity to reach deep within myself and share with you understandings and inspirations of a lifetime of experience. So I'm truly thankful to those of you here in the room, those of you watching on DVD, and those listening on CD. Thank you. The title of today's class is Your Attractiveness to Others, Inner and Outer Cosmetology. Your Attractiveness to Others, subtitle is Inner and Outer Cosmetology. I'll start off with a little epigram I wrote for this. Bitterness robs your beauty. Bitterness robs your beauty. Sweetness magnifies it. We've all seen in movies, and guys are talking and said, oh, she was gorgeous. I was so enamored of her until she started talking. So then she was talking in some ways that would rob her beauty. So the level of what kind of thoughts, words, and actions leads to a second beauty. There's the original beauty, the original attraction, and that can continue to be heightened and magnified. And if a marriage partner could continue to see his wife as more and more beautiful over the years, even as she's aging. So age doesn't rob beauty as much as bitterness does. Age doesn't rob beauty as much as resentment and negativity does. On the other hand, that sweetness and that mercy and compassion in a woman will magnify her beauty. I know, to me, my wife, we've been married, it's going on 23 years, is more beautiful to me today than she was then. If you looked at photos, you say, gosh, she was so gorgeous. She was, and we got even more gorgeous because the inner beauty has actually enhanced that beauty. So when people say, gee, you know, I've been around this person so long, and they take each other for granted, there's a detraction or a reduction of the attractiveness factor, a reduction in the beauty, because the inner beauty is not shining forth, or the person is not able to see it. As it is said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So we need to understand, too, that beauty, all beauty is a reflection of beauty of God, the ancient beauty. And God, the all-merciful, the compassionate, it is reflected throughout all of creation. So what aspects lead to the second sweetness? There's the second beauty, the second attractiveness. There's the original physical, which is extremely important. In no way am I going to try to denigrate or downgrade the physical. The physical is extremely important. But what is it? You can only get so much lipstick and so many surgeries, and you can go so far through achieving beauty through outer cosmetology. You can only get so many shades of lipstick. You can only get, you only have room for a certain amount of wardrobe, a skirt or a blouse. You only have so many cosmetic surgeries, so much mascara. I mean, there's an end to how far you can beautify yourself in this way. And we spend at this time in our country more on cosmetics than we do in our whole educational system. And I say to women, keep up the good work. That beauty is important. Great. Well, let's talk about how to take the beauty even further, at less expense to you even. So what is it that will bring out where there's no end to the beauty? It's not limited by your money. It's not limited by the cosmetic industry with their new research, or not limited by the new cosmetic plastic surgery procedures. It's not limited by that. What is that? So we're going to be talking about what I call the inner cosmetology. There's no end to the development of the inner beauty, the beauty of the heart. There's no end to the perfection of virtue that then affects the face, affects the posture, affects how a woman carries herself. There's no end to that. So don't think that age will destroy your beauty. It might detract from the outer beauty to some extent, although that you can very well age gracefully in an outward sense. But the beauty of your heart will continue to grow. You'll grow in wisdom and in kindness and understanding and compassion which will more than compensate for changes in terms of the skin texture or the glow of your hair or how many teeth you have or don't have. Those are all important, but the other beauty will be continuing to increase. So that's the good news. The good news is you can become more beautiful every year, every decade of your life. That's the good news. But you need to understand the inner cosmetology of how to do this. If you don't understand the inner cosmetology, then with age you will become more decrepit, more shriveled up. You're not going to like what happens. But once you understand the inner cosmetology, you'll see your beauty enhanced. You'll see people more drawn to you than ever. Because your outer beauty, however great it is, has a certain time frame to it, certain time course to it. So you want to continue to beautify the heart, the inner cosmetology. Now, I'm going to take a moment now and see what your thoughts are, what your reactions to what I'm talking about. There's no end to developing your beauty once you understand the concept of inner cosmetology. Jerry, what are your thoughts?
The inner, just being more kind and to, like you said, with your heart, speaking with your heart, being kind and patient, something I need to practice.
We all know.
Well, there's no room to, there's no end to the degrees of perfection that we can all have. I mean, what are your thoughts about inner cosmetology as a source of continuing to increase a woman's beauty throughout her life?
Well, I think it's very important because you can have outer beauty, and without the inner beauty, then your outer beauty even won't glow. So it's very important to have inner beauty, and some of us has naturally the inner beauty, but some of us we have to work on it and to build on inner beauty to be able to reflect our other beauty.
If you've had a mother, if a woman has a mother who was kind, had a beautiful heart, most likely she's going to learn those ways from her mother. But there's still no end to how much she can continue to develop through further devotion to her virtuous nature. She can still continue to glow even more. And that's actually the right term, is glow or magnetic beauty. When a person has that kindness, a woman has that joy and love in her heart, the eye has a certain glow to it, and the skin has a certain glow to it. You know, they say a woman in love or a spring bride, you know, she's just glowing. Well, what is that? Still physically the same person, but she has love in her life, and it affects the complexion, her eyes, everything. She's still using the same cosmetics, still wearing the same clothing. But if she says, gee, you look different, well, she's in love now. She's glowing. That comes from the heart. I mean, it's noticeable. People say, gee, you look wonderful. Well, yeah, a new love in her life. Or she's fell in love with her husband again. Whatever the situation is, then the glow happens. So that glow is as powerful or more powerful than the greatest mascara or a great eyeliner, whatever rouge or powder or lipsticks that we have. It'll enhance tremendously. So it's a matter of applying this inner cosmetology that we're going to be talking about. And it's also important to be teaching your daughters about it, just like you'll teach your daughters about what shade of lipstick or how to match the clothing. You know, when she's wearing a certain coat or dress, pants, how to match it up, the styles. You want to then teach her how to choose her own thoughts. We're going to talk about how to choose your own thoughts. Greg, what are your thoughts about the inner cosmetology as an approach to enhancing beauty?
Well, I was going to say, when I initially am attracted to a woman, that is obviously going to be her outer beauty. And when I speak to her, I'm going to find her inner beauty. And if her inner beauty is not, if it's not good, if it's something that's, if she's mean or if she's not a nice person, then her outer beauty to me is going to look
it changes the physical appearance. Actually, the person begins to look different.
Yeah.
It's physically the same nose, the same lips and eyes, but it actually the person actually physically does not look as good. Is that right, Flora?
Yes, of course, definitely. You got to think positive.
So if the person, on the other hand, if you go up to a woman and she's a nice looking woman, but she has a beautiful heart, she becomes even more beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody's nodding their head on that. What are your thoughts on that, Flora?
Well, if you don't have a positive attitude inside of you, you won't come out.
And Jasmine, I'm seeing you nodding your head, so that's your experience with it?
Yeah, I think same like Flora. If you're not good inside, you won't be beautiful.
So the inner beauty, so that's why it's about the inner cosmetology. Now, have you ever heard of anybody talk about inner cosmetology when you were learning about lipstick and how to do your hair? Flora, would anybody ever
No.
tell you about this? And look how important beauty is to them. Anybody ever tell you, Jerry, about it?
Never.
Yeah.
No.
So here we are, a tremendous beauty approach, and our society hasn't even taught it. So I'm here to bring this to you, to bring it to you, to bring it to the world. Wanting you to teach it to your daughters. We're going to talk about how you choose the thoughts, how to go about actually implementing the inner cosmetology. We're gonna come to that. We're going to talk also about the attitudes that will enhance your beauty, will enhance your physical beauty. I'm always going to take it back to physical beauty. To not manifest your potential is to not manifest your beauty. To not manifest your potential is to not manifest your beauty. If a woman feels trapped inside, feels, yeah, I really want to be doing this, I feel this is my calling, I'm doing this, but this was my calling, that's a recipe for depression. And depression will mask, will put a cloud over the beauty. The beauty of the eyes will be clouded over. Whereas if she's living her potential, she's living her greatness, then there'll be a different energy flow which will tremendously enhance her physical beauty, will enhance the way she carries herself. She'll be filled with purpose and passion in her life, and so the energy will be extremely attractive, extremely. To not manifest your greatness leads to depression, which is a detriment to your beauty. To not manifest your greatness leads to depression, which is a detriment to your beauty. And your greatness is achieved by pursuing your destiny. Your destiny could be being a wife and mother, or it could be being an attorney, it could be wherever. Here's how you know whether you're serving your destiny or not. A job is something you do from 9 to 5 to pay your bills. A career is a job you like. A calling is a career you would do for free. And a destiny is a career you would pay to do. So if it's something you would pay to do it, which of course mothers all have that, they're all paying to be mothers. It's a destiny they'd actually pay to do it. They are paid, not that they would, they are. They're shelling out money every day for their kids and driving them and giving them their life's blood, their every minute of concern and effort. So that's the destiny. I know myself as an educator, what I'm doing now, this is a destiny for me. This is not a job. This is not a career being here with you. This is even more than a calling because, in fact, I am paying to do this. I'm paying for the video productions and, the rent. I mean, everything in terms of the electricity and everything. I'm actually paying to do this. The hope is someday this will go out to the world and it will support itself. So, but for me, this is a destiny. To deny one's urge to greatness creates a sore that claims our thought in the stillness of the night and is the regret at the end. If a person doesn't pursue their greatness through serving their destiny, at nighttime when everything's quieted down and she wakes up or she's not sleeping, something just gnaws away, something nags there. And at the end and the last, when she's on her last ending time, there's a regret, a deep regret. I should have gone this way, or I should have at least gone for the dream, or gone for whatever it is. So that detracts from the beauty. as opposed to a woman who's pursued that urge to greatness, pursued her destiny. And again, it could be in being the best mother she can be, the best wife she can be, the best house cleaner she could be. So this is what I love doing. I love cleaning and sending the money home to my parents who need the money. I mean, this is what I want to be doing. And I like making people happy by cleaning, or it could be, president of a corporation, whatever it is, an educator, whatever it is. I want to get your reactions to the idea that serving your greatness, serving your destiny, and even serving your calling will release your energy and enhance your beauty. What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts, Sherry?
I think it's great. I think it's something that everybody needs to do, and I never really thought about it, but I think that's your pursuit of happiness.
And do you feel that it affects a woman's beauty?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yes. Definitely, yes.
Maheen, what about your thoughts on that?
Definitely. And well, also, if you're happier and you feel good about yourself, that's going to affect the, outside beauty also. So definitely.
And that's the key, is right there, just what you said. If a woman is pursuing her calling or her destiny, that's then her pathway to her greatness. She will feel good about herself. Definitely, that's the source of self-esteem. Is she's living what she would do for free or pay to do, and it's that important. So it creates a sense of self-esteem. Whereas if she feels she's doing something that's beneath her or degrading in some sense, it's gonna rob her of that beauty. What are your thoughts on that, Flora, in terms of destiny and calling, serving your greatness as a source of beauty?
Yeah, like I said, you have to learn that, though. I mean, because we're not aware of that. At least I wasn't all these years, about inner beauty. Never thought about it.
Affecting the outer beauty. No, it's
Right,
not something
exactly.
that mothers teach their daughters.
Right. So,
And mothers ought to tell their sons, be sure to look not only the outer beauty, look at the inner beauty, and to know that, look at the woman's mother. She's most likely going to turn out like her, but otherwise you can become miserable. You want to protect your sons. Tell them to make sure you look at the outer beauty, which is super important. You don't want to tell them not to be attractive, because that's just natural, but also make sure that the beauty of the heart is there, and not just consumed with the outer beauty only. Otherwise, they can have a really rough time. I mean, a beautiful woman could be a great gift, or she could be very self-centered and selfish. That can also happen. That she's used to getting away, and whatever she feels entitled.
Curse.
Could be a curse. Could be a curse to herself. Her beauty can be a curse to herself and to the man in her life. So the inner beauty has to be there.
That reminds me also, is like, sometimes that we hear like, oh, she's beautiful, but she's a bitch. It's kind of like brings that in me,
You hear that,
Very
yeah?
often.
Yeah, very often we hear that.
A woman to have the outer beauty and stay humble, that's a special woman. That's a very special woman. Very much so, like you.
Thank you. Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah. You forget yourself when you forget your dreams. Remember and do not delay. O seducer of man, use not your power to feed your vanity. Use it to inflame the passion for goodness. So it's a responsibility, that beauty. The outer beauty and the inner beauty is a big responsibility. I mean, a woman can really control men with it. No question, it's a great power. I mean, to a beautiful woman, men are just putty in her hands. Just make them do whatever. It's a fact. They become willingly under her spell. It's always been that way. Always. Always will be. She can use that to just feed her vanity, or it's better to use it to inflame his passion for goodness, to help him become a better man, a more responsible man, a more compassionate man, a sweeter man. This is the best use of a woman's beauty. a tremendous power. I mean, it's from the beginning of time, we've known that. The tremendous influence women have over men. Enormous. I don't think anybody can doubt that a beautiful woman could have a man just eating out of her hands and he'll do whatever. And she could use that just for her own vanity, or to get what she wants for herself selfishly, or to use it for his benefit. What are your thoughts about that, Maheen?
Well, definitely, if you use that power, in a wrong way, that's going to be for short time. So, if woman is smart, then will use it differently to be able to have it for permanent, for the lifetime.
Ladies, tell your daughters to use their beauty to make their men better, to make them better men, more compassionate, more responsible, and help your daughters understand the enormous power that just in their hands. It's a very important responsibility of mothers to their daughters. And for that matter, father to their daughters. Use your beauty wisely. Greg, what are your thoughts about this?
I agree. Woman could have a man doing anything she wants them to do. But I think I've learned in my experience to see those signs, at this point in my life. But I think a younger man might not be able to see that right away.
Yeah, if a woman wants to use her beauty and her influence over her man to, say, advance himself in life, to be more compassionate, more understanding, to forgive people who have offended him, and the family reach out to keep family unity. She's using her power in a good way.
That's true.
If she's just using it to just see what she can get materially out of him, regardless of what it does to him, that's a different one. That's a different story.
Yeah, and sometimes the woman could make, like you said, make a man better, or not better, but
Oh, no question about it.
Bring out his confidence or some strengths that he doesn't see, in himself, and I've experienced that as well.
You personally experienced
Yeah.
your strengths coming out in the right relationship.
Bring out the good part of the man, not the bad part.
Well, I mean, I've seen that in my marriage with Maheen, bringing out the really good part of myself, definitely, no question about it. Very important part of my journey towards God, no question, no about that at all. The power of a woman's sexuality can be used to manipulate men, but for how long? Reflect upon the deeper bond. So part of that beauty and the sexuality are very interconnected. And it's no secret it's used to control men, manipulate men, or can be used for that purpose. But how long can a woman do that unless she has also the beauty of the heart? The beauty of the heart is there. Then there's a deeper bond, there's a true love, a deep connection, a deep respect. Then it all works towards the good. O woman, grieve not the passing of your youthful beauty yet to come. Through this loss you will achieve humility. Rejoice in releasing the virtue to which you aspire. So, woman becomes 70, 80, or 90, 100. Some of that youthful beauty will change, but the beauty of the heart can become even more powerful. The glow, the wisdom that will just shine from through the eyes will be even greater. But also, a woman will achieve more humility because then they're used to just being the center of attention wherever room they walk into, and now that woman is no longer the center of attention because of the physical beauty. But anybody who's around her or knows her then sees that inner beauty. But that's humbling, and to be happy in that. Although, you could meet a woman at 80, 90, 100, and you can tell, well, she was a beautiful woman in her youth. You can see it. She must have been gorgeous. Look at her now. But the beauty of the heart will help her keep the physical beauty longer and will help her age gracefully. If she's bitter and wanting revenge and angry and jealous all her life, she's going to develop a lot of ugly lines. It's going to really diminish her physical beauty. I want to keep tying in the state of her thoughts, the state of her attitudes to her physical beauty. Keep coming back to the physical beauty, because That's what people care about. It's what women care about the most, because more money spent on that than on our whole educational system. We know that physical beauty to the woman and to the man. The man wants the woman to be beautiful, and the woman wants that beauty, that power, that sense of self-esteem that comes with it. A woman looks in the mirror, she wants to see. A bad hair day can make a woman depressed. She gets a zit on her face. No matter how gorgeous she is, she can, her self-esteem, if her self-esteem is only tied to a clear complexion and she gets a couple of pimples, she's feeling miserable about herself that day. But also, if she has her identity attached to the outer, but also to the inner, she won't suffer as badly. The pimple will still bother her. But the love, the compassion, maybe she can even laugh at herself because she has wisdom, so she laughs. Look at that. Another pimple. Dang it. So it won't rob her of her inner beauty as much, and she'll glow more, as opposed to if she feels no self-confidence because she's got 2 pimples here and 1 came out there, and she doesn't want to be seen. Takes the day off from work because she's so used to being so gorgeous, she can't have it compromised for a second.
That's extreme.
I think that exists, that there's a pretty extreme concern. Well, the fact that we spend more money on cosmetics than we do on a whole educational system.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I think that's pretty extreme.
That is.
And it's always been that way. Beautiful woman. I mean, look at the story of Troy and the whole war that's from mythology, the whole war that took place in ancient Greece over a beautiful woman. I mean, wars over that. I mean, it's always been that way. It's nothing new. Now, for a woman, her beauty is also part of competing. Who's the most beautiful woman in the room? For a woman used to being the center, and then somebody else comes in more beautiful, she can be quite jealous and upset that somebody's more gorgeous than her in the room. That definitely happens, especially if they're used to being the center, and now somebody else is, and everybody's paying attention to her and to this other woman and not her. She's beside herself, it's not her anymore, or in this particular situation. If you must compete with other women, then compete in choosing more beautiful thoughts than others, more beautiful actions. So the competition is natural in terms of the physical beauty, but compete in terms of having more beautiful thought, more beautiful actions. That's a worthwhile thing to compete in. Again, you'll compete in the physical beauty. That's going to happen. But you compete in the beauty of your thought and your action. Win that one. That's a good one to win. Have more beautiful thoughts. Well, she might be looking better than me, getting more attention, but I'm going to have some more beautiful thoughts and actions right now. Yeah. What are your thoughts about that, Maheen?
Well, I never thought about it.
No.
What you're saying about
Yes.
these things, that I never thought about it. But I think, I mean, I don't know if I should talk generally or personally. Personally, I don't have that, and but I think naturally, if you are in some place and you can be able to, with your other beauty, actually, to get everybody to notice you and everything. I mean, with your inner beauty, it's like, and I have seen lots of older ladies that they have that inner beauty, and they
A magnet. That's a magnetic
like
beauty.
a magnet.
Magnetic beauty.
They get people around them.
But I've seen so many times that women have told me that other women are just jealous of them. Especially get jealous if their man is paying some attention to them. They get jealous. Even if a woman doesn't want the attention of that man, he's looking at her, paying attention to her. He might even say to his wife, "Look how gorgeous she is." Whatever. That woman can end up hating the other woman for being so gorgeous and getting the attention of her man. So that's a double-edged sword of that physical beauty. That's a double-edged sword of that. Because there is that competition or a sense of loss. You're looking at her, and I'm your woman, you're feeling, why are you looking at her? Well, a man really shouldn't look at her, but it commonly happens. What are your thoughts on what I'm saying, Jerry?
I think you're right about everything. I never thought about the the competition with the beauty, because I'm around it with my group of friends. Me personally, no, but my other friends go through that. And yeah, I think it's wonderful, the beauty of the inner, being yourself and being the nice person, versus the outer beauty. Like you said, you need both.
Now, being your true self is key. Being your true self, you have the right to be your real self. That'll enhance your beauty. As long as the expression of your true self is done in a respectfully real manner, that is with kindness, wisdom, respect the boundaries. So the theme is, this brace is respectfully real. I own the trademark on respectfully real. As long as you're saying it in a respectfully real manner, expressing yourself in a respectfully real manner, you have the right to be your real self. If you're not being your real self and you're covering it, that'll attract from your beauty. If a person has a smile that comes from the heart, it illumines the face. If it's a fake smile, it's not as beautiful. It'll in fact, it might push somebody away a little bit. If the person's going like that. So the perception of the other person, they don't see beauty. They just see somebody flashing teeth. But if it's a genuine smile, if a person being their real self, smile or laugh that comes up that way, well, that just enhances the glow, the magnetic beauty. O woman, teach your sons to see inner beauty so they'll not be fooled in choosing a wife. How many men have been fooled or just didn't see beneath the surface and getting married or living with somebody or staying with somebody longer than they should have because of the physical beauty and didn't look for the beauty of the heart. Again, I'm not saying men will ever go totally beyond seeing physical beauty. That's super important to a man as it is for a woman, but also definitely women want to be teaching their sons to look for the beauty of the heart and the importance of love, a woman who can provide a home through the love. Because a house cannot be built without money. A home cannot be built without love. So a man may have the money or the woman may have the money to build a house, but he needs a woman with a loving heart to make it to a home. If the woman does not have that loving heart, you'll have a house, you'll never have a home.
I agree with that, but unfortunately, I think men, especially young men, they are very superficial and they look, just the outer beauty, and they figure it out later on, and
Might be too late.
Yeah, too late. But unfortunately, it seems like they all right away they just go towards the beauty, and maybe that's why a lot of these plastic surgeries and everything else is happening because of young men being like that way.
Well, that's why we have to tell our sons, look for the beauty of her heart as well. Never tell them don't be influenced by the physical beauty. It's not going to happen, but look to her beauty of her heart. Look also at how her mother is and the relationship of her mother and father. If they have a warm relationship, that's a good sign. If she's close to her father, that's a good sign. If she has a problem with her father, that's her primary male relationship. It's not the best sign. It could be she's going to have a problem with you. With you, you got a wonderful relationship with your mother and your father, super close to your father. So that allow you not to bring father issues into our marriage.
Yeah.
Because a woman has a bad relationship with a father or with a stepfather, either one, that was the primary relationship. That's baggage that's taken into the marriage. Just like the baggage from an ex-husband is taken in as well. Hey, Greg, what are your thoughts about what's being said?
Well, I was going to have another thought, actually.
Please.
When we're talking about the inner beauty versus the outer beauty, there's something else that could attract me to a woman, too, is some type of talent they might have. Like, they might be a singer or a tennis player or... I love tennis, that's why I'm saying that. They could even be not so beautiful on the outside, but if somebody sings, it could steal my heart.
Well, that's singing. Yeah, that a lot of people lost their hearts over songs.
So, yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one.
I like to make a comment about that, and I think because that's you. And you want to you're seeing somebody else like because you're a musician yourself and you said you like tennis. Mm-hmm. So when you're seeing that in the woman, that's kind of like, already some kind of bond happens between you and the woman. So, of course, that's very important.
Well, it's common interest. Common interest.
Every relationship, common interest is very, very important.
Yeah, common
we all
interest.
have that, I think, in different ways that we have, different interests.
But if, let's say she's a great tennis player, and she gets, every time she misses a shot, she throws her racket down and curses out her opponent. Well, that's so. Again, the beauty of the heart has a factor. If she loses graciously or a gracious winner, that's going to enhance her beauty to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there also the character will affect it. Yeah. If she runs over the other court and slaps the other, you say there's a bad side for a relationship. Starts arguing with the call that the ball was out or short. Starts cursing at the caller, making the call.
And that does happen.
Yeah. Or let's say she's playing tennis. Let's say she's playing tennis, and in these professional matches they have these people that come up with a towel. So let's say she gets the towel, does this, and just throws it on the floor. It's one thing. Let's say she takes the sweat off her face and says thank you and hands it to the person. That's gonna endear her more to you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course.
As opposed if she just does this and throws it on the floor and makes the other person go pick it up.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
You wouldn't like that.
Yeah, it'll show.
So again, the character and the beauty of the heart will show in all areas.
Yeah.
Whether they're thanking the person, whether they hand the towel back. I've seen most tennis players don't say anything to the person that give them a towel. Just take it, do this, and give it back without a thank you. It's just, there should be a nod or something, thumbs up or whatever, but it's not there most of the time.
Most of the time.
But if somebody did do that, that would show the character and the beauty of the heart.
Exactly.
Now, to understand human nature, read carefully the book of your own heart. As you understand what's in your own heart, you'll be able to express yourself. You see a woman that you're very enamored with, well, you can read your own heart and have the courage to say what's truly there. That's very powerful. Men are intimidated by a beautiful woman. They actually become intimidated. But if a man could read the book of his own heart, he'll know how to work with that intimidation and how to speak to her in a genuine way. As well as other knowledge will flood forth. When I give these lectures, I do very little preparation. When I was young, I was a scholar. I'm not really a scholar now. I just read the book of my own heart, and I receive the inspirations of the Holy Spirit, and it just pours forth. So it's a whole other knowledge base and also another communication base. To admire and identify with heroes is universal. Thus do we understand that every human being is infused with the urge to greatness. All cultures from the beginning of the time have their heroes and heroines. That shows that we have that urge in us to greatness. Again, the pursuit of your own greatness is a tremendous part of the inner cosmetology. To the extent your life is filled with meaning, purpose, direction, and passion towards your goals, your beauty will shine forth from your eyes, your posture will be different, your whole muscle tone will be different. I'd like to get your reactions to that. What are your thoughts about that, Maheen?
No, I do agree with that.
As an important point of inner cosmetology.
Yes, it's very important, how to be able to carry yourself and, everything that you said. It's very important.
Jerry, what are your thoughts?
Definitely. It takes care of your physical appearance. It comes from the inside out. It just,
From the beauty inside out. The inner cosmetology. Ladies, pursue your greatness, whatever it is, a homemaker, a professional, whatever it is, pursue it as a beauty aid. Now, because your happiness will make your eyes glow. You'll live a longer, healthier life, and you'll be more beautiful than you ever could have imagined. And there's no end to the beauty that you can manifest through pursuing your greatness. no end to it, as opposed to there's only so much cosmetics, outer cosmetics, which is super important, but you can only use so much lipstick and so much eyeliner, but there's no end to the beauty from the sweetness of your heart. No end to that. What are your thoughts, Greg, about that?
Yeah, of course. There's so many different things, like what's in your heart, what she does for her family, for her community, for her friends,
Yeah.
it could go on forever. Talents or education, knowledge, instead of worrying about just what's on the outside. Like I said, I could talk to someone, the beauty on the inside, they have no makeup on, anything like that, and to me, that person is beautiful.
To the extent you have the beauty of the heart, when you wake up in the morning, your husband will see you as beautiful.
That's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
because makeup and everything you can just can do for a very short time. I mean, you know,
There's 8 hours a night you don't have it on.
no,
Yeah.
and then get up and everything.
A bitter woman, if she's really bitter and angry, when she wakes up, doesn't look too good.
Right away.
She won't look good. Now, the makeup can cover a lot of that, but she won't wake up looking right. So keep in mind, there's the original rush of beauty that a man sees, but then that beauty either is going to grow, or if the beauty of the heart's not there, that outer beauty will diminish. You'll have physically the same face and body, but the beauty being in the eye, beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder. The beholder will look at your beauty as diminished, unless you have the beauty of your heart. So beauty is not just a fixed thing. Beauty is a dynamic phenomenon. Beauty is a dynamic phenomenon. It changes from minute to minute. To the extent your heart is manifesting beautiful attributes of love, compassion, kindness, that moment, you're illumined. Then if you go into some memory of something terrible and you start wanting revenge, I should have get that person. What cloud comes over, your whole face changes. You went from being beautiful to being less beautiful.
Definitely. I think we as a woman ourselves, we even maybe would feel it. Like sometimes, like if we are down and we have bad days, I think we don't feel as much beautiful or something. I don't.
Definitely.
Am I right?
Yes.
I think we all do. We have
Right
some
on,
bad
yeah.
days or something, and we feel it. That we don't feel that much right about ourselves.
Now, there are power thoughts. We'll be talking about thoughts that you can be feeding yourself that can help bring yourself out of that. We'll be getting into that and ways to counteract that negativity, or ways at least to help you keep from feeding it. Because you have the power to actually choose your own thoughts. You're not the thoughts you have. Those that pop into your mind do not define who you are. It's based on your genes, your family upbringing, and your society. You're the thought you choose to have. Right now, I'm going to ask you, have a pleasant memory, something from today, a meal you ate that you enjoyed, or somebody you saw that you loved. Take a moment and just have those thoughts. Okay. I know you did it naturally, effortlessly, flawlessly. A child, if you ask it to do it, will do it. We're the only species that can do that. No animal could choose their thoughts. And look what you did. You chose the time dimension. It was the past. You chose the polarity. It was a pleasant memory. It was not an unpleasant. It was a pleasant memory. And I know something else about you. Prior to my asking you to do that, you weren't thinking about this. And now you're not thinking about it again. So it popped out of nowhere and disappeared like magic. So we have that power. So now have the thought 3 times. Think this thought 3 times. I wish you well. I know you did that. You just chose the thought, I wish you well, at will. And now you're not thinking about that, but you were then. So you have the power to actually choose your thought. So that's one of the thoughts you want to be choosing throughout the day. I wish you well. Because a lot of negativity comes out of negative thoughts towards other people. So you get a negative thought, I'd like to choke that person, man, but I wish you well. I really do. I wish you well. So you're balancing it. You may still have a negative feeling, but you're not feeding it because you're taking the power thought, I wish you well. That's just one example. There are many other power thoughts we're going to discuss over time that will help beautify your heart, and that in turn will beautify your face and your eyes.
I'd like to say that when we did that, I mean, I personally really experienced, the really relaxed feeling and happy feeling too. I felt like it just came up.
Came up from your heart,
Yeah,
right up into your eyes.
yeah, exactly.
And what are the other people's experience? What was your experience, Gary?
Yeah, it was kind of an overwhelming, great feeling, actually.
And so did it affect your eyes, your face? Did you feel
Actually,
it out?
just relaxed my whole body.
Relax, so your whole
Actually,
body's
yeah,
posture changes.
yeah,
The face changes. If the face is tightened up, it's one way. If it relaxes from that, face
definitely.
becomes more beautiful. Greg, what was your experience of those thoughts?
Same kind of thing, you know. Made me happier, you know, made me stop thinking about something else that I shouldn't be thinking about.
Well, there you go. So if a person's having a bad day, it attracts from your physical beauty. You can say, I wish you well. There are other thoughts we can talk about, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well,
Or you can have a pleasant memory.
Or yeah, even what you had us do before, think about something earlier that was
Yeah,
nice.
just
and
have a pleasant memory of
that
something that
already
was good.
changed my
yeah.
Change it right there, just
Changed
have a
the
pleasant
mood,
memory.
everything. Yeah.
So you chose the polarity of the thought, it was positive. You chose the time dimension, the past. And that's in your power. That's an amazing power. The whole system of Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system is based on this power to choose your thoughts. And keep in mind, who are you? Well, if you're a person who repeats throughout the day, I wish you well, who are you? You're a well-wisher of humankind. Doesn't mean you're not going to get negative thoughts of wanting to hurt somebody or strangle somebody or do something bad to somebody, but you're not acting on them. You didn't choose the thought. You're choosing, I wish you well. To wish you well, to love, to forgive, to have compassion. All these thoughts and attitudes come from the great divine teachers, all of them. They're all beyond natural. They're not natural because the natural thing is to want to strike out back, want revenge. That's what's natural. These thoughts are supernatural. It's just beyond natural, and it leads to our best health and to maximize our own beauty. I'd like to get your thoughts on how these positive power thoughts, the greatest power thoughts, is wishing well or I forgive you and love, coming from the divine teachers, regardless of what your religion is. What is your reaction to that? So ultimately, we're saying that the divine teachers are the ultimate cosmetologists of our inner lives. The divine teachers are the ultimate cosmetologists. Maheen, what are your thoughts?
Definitely, I feel that. I mean, I think that I usually think about the divine teaching and affects me to be a better person, and it affects me to think better, or even to want to be divine. So that's brings out different positive, different feeling inside of me, and it helps me a lot.
Inspires you to be your best, to do good.
Yes.
Jerry, what about yourself?
Yeah, you just said it. Yeah, it makes me want to be a better person. Yeah, definitely.
And to the extent you want to be a better person, just the desire itself will bring out good fruit from you. There's an old Persian proverb that says, make no search for water, but find thirst, and water from the very ground will burst. You just have to have that thirst, and it'll draw that out of your own heart, that thirst for goodness. Regardless of what religion or whatever spiritual persuasion you are, the thirst for goodness will bring out a fountain of goodness from you, the thirst itself. The thirst itself is a prayer. To the extent you have that thirst, that is the prayer. So grass, when it's getting dried out, that thirst is a prayer for water. It doesn't have to be a verbalized prayer to be a prayer. It's whatever is the deepest yearning of the being For the grass, it's a prayer for water because it's thirsty to survive. A person has a thirst for goodness. That thirst for goodness is a very profound prayer. Even without words, that thirst itself will draw divine confirmations. What are your thoughts about that, Greg?
I think that there's different ways that you could look at it. I was taught by my parents to be kind and to love. You know, we're Christians. There's the commandments, right? To not be good to your neighbor. There's not to use the foul language around people. Even though I can't say that I'm a person that doesn't do that exactly, but I was taught these things, and I think that comes from what you were saying as far as our spiritual leaders, But that came from my parents, who were taught by their parents, and I think it just as a chain reaction, and it led me to be the person that I am and to be kind to people. I think that brings out my inner beauty, and to the people around me. And I think that's another thing that one person could just influence a group of people. Here, you're influencing us. You're bringing our inner beauty out, our thoughts, our good thoughts, and our to be positive. So.
Well, that's the intention. The intention of everything that we do here is to actually uplift society for at least 1,000 years, spiritually, emotionally, financially, and socially, and intellectually, in every way. That's the intention of all these classes, is to uplift for at least 1,000 years. And that'll happen through you passing on these ideas to others, to your children, to your loved ones. Our ideas be passing on the idea today of inner cosmetology. True greatness has a noble intention. Well, what is a noble intention? A noble intention is either to contribute to society in a constructive way, or the other aspect of noble intention is to make yourself more filled with virtue, more kindness, loyalty, keeping your word. So there's the social aspect and the inner aspect. So that way, true greatness has a noble intention. Give you one of the clues about true greatness. And then through your greatness, that will enhance your beauty. It will enhance the beauty of your eyes and your face and your bearing. All await to awaken. All await to awaken. Everybody wants to wake up. And yet we can be in a sleep state even with our eyes open. But we like when we wake up and we're really involved. So we're going to take some coffee or go to a movie to get really involved and really wake up. We all await to truly awaken. And in that awakeness, one characteristic is then being in the present. We're here now. And we're here now, it does something to the eyes. It does something to the voice. It does something to the whole being when being present, really truly awake. Some people call it that awakening and enlightenment or nirvana, different shades of it, depending on your persuasion, spiritually, whatever you call it. But all can refer to it as awakening, being really truly awake. Because you can sleepwalk, you're not bumping into things, but you're just gone in your thoughts. And you're awake, you're awakening to the deeper beauty of life. Music can do that, the beauty of another person. Music isn't known to be a great awakener. The right music can really just make a person soar. What are your thoughts on that one, Greg?
Oh yeah, I mean, music could have so many different types of emotions and feelings. It can, like you said, wake someone up. It can make someone cry. It can make someone happy.
Waking up the deepest aspect of the person.
Yeah.
And there is a beauty in depth. To the extent the person has a beautiful heart and understands respectful communication, there's something very beautiful about a deep person. Doesn't mean they're always talking deep. They may joke. I mean, you can joke around and still be deep, but there is a beauty in depth. Tremendous beauty in it.
Yeah.
where the inner person is really emerging out. Tremendously beautiful. Well, we're right now coming to an end of this part of the lecture. It's been really a great blessing to be in your presence and have this opportunity to be with you, share these thoughts, and to hear your thoughts. You're helping to make me a better human being and a better instructor. Giving these classes certainly helps me grow. So I'm very grateful to those of you here in the room, those watching on DVD, and those listening on CD. Thank you.
Thank you.